As it now we are facing the summertime here, so it is everybody goes to the beach, and Brazil is famous for its party and all this kind of things. So now now I am working. Last week I've been on the beach, but calm one, of the nature. It was quite nice and good to be there. And things that called my attention is that in Brazil now we are facing an invasion from Argentina because I think that our currency is too low now.
Mm.
So all the people from Argentina are coming, but it was quite nice to talk with people from there and to see some. It was quite interesting because I was in a place that was surrounded by nature. It was not a party place. The contrary, it was like a quite calm place, and it had a lot of people from Argentina. That was quite nice. Like many people with this mood of going to nature and to take care. It was quite good to meet people like this. So this is the mood around here. Yes, we are heading to Carnival, but this year will be a late Carnival. I think only the end of the month, but or beginning of the March. I'm not sure. So you can see a lot of people partying and going out. It is good. It is summer here.
So, yes, I understand. I read about the change in Brazil and how do you speak to the people from Argentina? Do you speak Spanish with them or
It is
English or
quite
how?
interesting. One thing that is interesting, we speak Spanish. It is interesting
Mhm.
because they come here, but they do not speak Portuguese. Oh, we speak Spanish in our land. It is
Yes.
quite interesting to notice this. I don't know if Brazilian people are more curious or something like this, but they speak Spanish. They keep speaking in Spanish.
Mhm. It's interesting. So you mean the general public in Brazil tend to speak also Spanish, but the general, let's say, visitors that are coming from Argentina do not tend to speak, let's say, another language, which is Portuguese, if I understood
Exactly,
well.
exactly. Yes.
Mhm. Mm. Good afternoon, Abigail. So it means that if there are already two languages, it means that people are more flexible because they're aware of another, let's say, another language, another way. So it's also Brazil is next to the sea, and Argentina. What is the geographical, let's say, landscape of Argentina? Do they touch water as well, or
Yes, yes, but
yes?
it is a cold sea, let's say. They have beaches, but they had like a cold wet water.
Mm-hmm.
They have also like mountains with snow and things like this. It's beautiful. Argentina is a beautiful place. I really like it.
Thank you.
Just to inform you, like you asked how things are going around here. Um, I think that Brazil
It's
is quite like this, like not organize it and it is just like this.
Thank you for the map, Cindy. Yes, I see. And how is it when you meet them? So you feel that they are like tourists, or you feel that they are like coming because the currency is like, let's say there's an economic change or something. There's a new
Yes.
wave.
there is a new wave, a new economic change, like they are consuming a lot, going into the stores and buying everything,
Mhm.
because when people come to Brazil, feels that everything is so cheap here because our currency is not good, let's say. But but it, I saw it is that tourists have a lot, all kind of people. It is not about being Argentinian or Brazilian or Israeli or American.
Mhm.
Uh, exist people that are connected, that are present and resonate in you. How you do not know why, and exist people that are in another tree, are out and about, and that does not resonate anything. So I think that I would look more uh, from this perspective, because I have. Oh, it is not about nationality.
Of course, is the first time that this is happening, or there were like earlier waves, or that
No,
now
no,
the city?
it is quite. It is like it is a beautiful thing that we have here because our rivals, right? Like Argentina and Brazil in football, let's say, or soccer.
Yes.
Um, when things go bad in Argentina, Brazilians go to Argentina to buy things and all that kind of stuff. So when things go bad in Brazil, Argentinians come here, buy things, and we call them as hermanos, as brothers. And it is, I think that this is the best definition. We are brothers, because brother is not always the most, let's say, the most right and good thing to have around. Like a brother, it's good, but sometimes you get it pisses you off.
Mm.
It breaks you out. So call us like hermanos, brothers. We call them as brothers. So I think that is a good definition.
Thank you so much for sharing this experience. For how long they're coming? For how several weeks this is happening already?
Yes, yes, yes. It is an invasion, but it is a good
Invasion.
one. It is a good one. Yes.
Invasion. Interesting. Thank you for sharing. And if you have questions, you're most welcome to ask or to share your experience, current experience, weekend, weeks, what happens in your life. You're most welcome to share. Cindy, Rodrigo, good morning. Felipe, good morning. Abigail, good afternoon. Connie, good morning. Jill and Fernando. Something interesting happened yesterday in the bus. In the bus, there is a space in the middle for wagons, meaning for kinderwagen wagons and for elderly people or people who are traveling on wheelchair or disabilities. So there is a space there, special. There are no seats. Can put the wagons when they need, and there's a belt that they can secure the wagon. Yesterday we came. I mean, we entered the bus, and there was a Ukraine, probably Ukraine mother, and she put her baby. It was like about 1 year old baby in a wagon. He was in this space, and she did not buckle him up. She just held him by the hand from her seat, and in one of and the bus continued to move according to the map. And in one of the stations, there was a couple with in advanced age, and the lady was in a wheelchair, the granny, And the husband was asking the driver, and this is how it goes, that the driver pull the handbrakes or something, the bus on hold, he goes to the back door and there's a lift. Yes, in the back door there always a lift, and he helps the couple um, to bring the granny to the space of the wagons. And when the bus driver was helping this elderly couple to come on to the special space, the Ukraine mother said, "But why?" She was upset in a way that this little space she had to share with the grandparents. That suppose this little space that is in a way destined for wagons, now they have to put two wagons, one parallel to each other, like brothers, a little baby and a granny about 90 years old. She was pissed that she had to share the space with a elderly couple. She could not see in a way that her baby is entering, so to speak, to this life. Maybe this couple is in the other side, but it's basically two sides of the same coin. Both are on wagons, yes. She was so pissed. And I found it really interesting. Because we always tend to see that we have to share the same space, yes, with another, with the other, with a brother, with every brother, because the brother also holds the letters of other. Yes, so, and she was so pissed. And she said something to the driver, and the driver says, "It's not my problem." Meaning his work was to bring this couple into the bus and belt the granny. Yes, Fernando. And the bus
It,
driver says, Lady, it's not my problem. I just need to buckle people." Yes, Fernando.
it is beautiful what you are speaking, and somehow, I don't know how, but it brought one theme that we talked on Saturday about Isaac Luria that I think that you could expand a little bit this most simple and practical way, because we are talking about like brothers, but brothers as the other that brings problem, like this lady, world is mine. So my son is the most important thing, and I do not care about the elderly that is feeling pain or something like this. And I said the example about the Argentine people, that people from Argentina that call us brothers, because each part manifests something different. And when a brother manifests something that is not you, you usually to feel upset, why his brother is not so different. And I was reading, inspired by our Saturday conversation, I went to read Isaac Luria a little bit, because you said about the Vav, the small Vav and the Vav that is orphan. I was reading just some few passages where Isaac Luria speaks about this little Vav, or this Zeranpin that is orphan. Uses of course, the translation uses the word that the Zeranpin is orphan when he's not suckling from Ima, and he is
Mhm.
not connected with. And brother and sister is the small vav, usually, because it is not a relationship. a blood relationship. It's not a relationship like the groom and the bride, the Kabbalistic terms. If you could, and now we are talking like the quite most daily experience that is entering in a bus or seeing the stranger, and I think that somehow we touched this idea about the orphan vav or the vav that is connected with the higher. I don't know if you could expand a little bit these ideas, I will be glad.
Thank you, Fernando, for the question. Let's start from something in direct. I mean, when you hear it and you can ask more question if this is the direction something comes. The Vav says Luria, the letter Vav is like a trunk, a tree trunk. And most of the time we feel like orphans in this life. We don't feel connected to anything which is happening. Where does Luria come with this idea of orphan? He takes like 4 words describing Joseph, and Joseph is described as his mother. His mother, Rachel, is Yefat Toa. Yes. Yefat Toa v'Yefat Mar'eh. Rachel is described as beautiful to look at. Yes, Yefat Toa. This is Rachel. V'Yefat Mar'eh. Yes, you can see the abbreviation of Yatom. Yatom, this is orphan. Yatom, the 4 letters. And this description moves from Rachel to Joseph. But Luria looks at this description or the word orphan in a very, very broad way. The whole manifested world is an orphan. The whole manifested world, seasons, whatever we see as a manifestation, is an orphan. We like to look at things in the manifested, they have beautiful form, beautiful shape, but we tend to miss one thing. What is nourishing? Or what brings this manifestation into life? So therefore, says Luria, the whole manifestation, what we can see as stars, as continents, as weather phenomenon, as trees, as hills, as mountain, as fishes, whatever, is basically is the manifested. But this manifestation that we tend to see or to catch in senses is considered to be an orphan. An orphan to what? To the source. And there he says that we also here feel orphans because we don't see or we don't sense what nourishing or how do you say, emanating life here. So we tend to see everything as disconnected or orphan. What is an orphan? Human without relation to anyone, to anything. Relationless. Yes, this is an orphan. A beautiful thing is that if we read carefully the other stories of the Bible, we see similar pattern. We see the woman, yes, when we read about Elijah, in Kings 1:17, we see the woman for Seraphim, we say in English, Mitzalfat, and she has a son. And she said, they'll just have the last bite, and then this is the last thing that they're gonna eat before they die. They are relationless. This is not something that occasionally there's a famine or there's hunger. Therefore, Elijah asks the opposite. First, give me this. Let me try the first bite, and then just the first. The stranger, the other, and then you and your son will eat, and you will never die, basically. Yes, I see that, Rodrigo. Usually, when we read in literature about orphans, what is the impression that we have from orphans? Let's say children. What is the sentiment if we read in literature, if we saw something in a movie, or in a close surrounding neighborhood, if we happen to see? What is the impression? Yes, yes. Without care. Yes. They don't have parents, nobody's taking care of them. There is nobody to hand them like a warm sweater. There's in the winter or warm surrounding or something to drink or to eat or to talk about what happened in school. Yes, they're very, very much inside of themselves. They're afraid that somebody will beat them up. They usually don't tend to communicate. They're very isolated. They sit like a rock in the one of the corners of the class. We did not, in our, comes to me, a kid in elementary school. She was the 10th child. Yes, they had a family of 10 children. She was the 10th kid, the youngest, and the parents were already very, very sick. And the authorities took her, yes, outside of the, let's say, biological space, and they gave her another foster home. The foster home that she received was like grannies, yes, that were Holocaust survivors. They insist to adopt her. And I remember when the teacher brought her first day into class, we were like fourth grade or so, and there were already rumors. You see how children are going with rumors already before the child entered the class. There were rumors about her. What was the rumors? Oh, were the rumors that she is not 10-year old. She is 11 because she has a lack of education, so she had to stay, yes, do a second time this class, the fourth grade, so she had to stay class. She could not follow her, let's say, her general age group, so she had to go back. This was the first rumor. The second rumor that they publish about her is that she has lice. You know what lice is? These little ants in the hair. Is one of the, let's say, 10 plagues of Egypt. But usually, even in our times, children are coming from the kindergarten, little ants in the hair. So I remember our educator, Naomi. She was our teacher. She was standing next to her desk, and she was introducing us to Shulamit. Her name was Shulamit. And she said, who wants to sit next to Shulamit? And I never forget her face. She was so like a turtle that, you know, when the turtle has a danger feeling, he puts his head inside of his armor. Yes, he is afraid that somebody will harm him. Just it was enough that the teacher asked who would like to sit next to her, and she was putting her head in her neck. I don't know how she did it, but this was my impression. And she was her eyes went inside. Her eyes went inside her skull. Her head went inside her neck or throat or body or chest. And immediately there was like, she stayed a class, meaning she's 11 and we are 10. And she has lice. She has lice and lice. Those ants in the hair, they're contagious. And to see this child, I was in shock. And because the teacher could not, she's a teacher, she's an educated, she is a very, very good-hearted person. Never seen such a person like her in education system. Nobody can do anything when those the winds of hate are moving between children. It's hard also in public. Yes, you cannot control this. This is why it's not recommended to be in mass, to move in mass sort of people on the street. And I raised my finger and I said, I would like to sit next to her. And we sat next to each other. And she was singing so beautifully. And she really liked one of the Hebrew songs. Now it doesn't come to me later, maybe. And she used to sing it all the time. And I thought to myself, how can they relate to her in such a way? Such a gentle soul. The 10th kid, the last kid from who knows above her how people live, the elder brothers, how they find their way in the world. She was the youngest, so they found for her a foster house. I mean, parents, Holocaust survivors. And they say that her mother is having cancer. Her father, biological father, had few heart attacks, so they were like about to leave their biological parents. Yes. And she was standing. I will never ask. I don't know. I wrote a poem about her last summer because this is her feeling that I'm gonna be rejected again. They're gonna beat me. They're gonna hate me. They're gonna throw stones at me. This thing, Orphan. He had a beautiful way to speak Hebrew. I never, you know, there is a lot of. We tend to always look at the biological parents as the source of everything and the absolute relation. So she had such a beautiful Hebrew and delicate Hebrew that it doesn't in a way fit, because there is a saying that people are tending to speak as their surroundings, so to speak. There is an influence of speech. But she had such a the Hebrew that she spoke, it was so how do you say original. It was not influence of any. They always used to blame her that she's coming from this family with this accent and this culture, and then the foster home has another accent which is very different. And she was speaking such a high Hebrew, and she could sing, and life brings about what it brings about, but it has nothing to do with the biological parents, with the foster parents, with what happened to her. People that had much more, or children that had much better conditions in their families and, let's say, upbringing, they spoke and behaved. They had, let's say, economical, better off status, or nobody spoke like her. Nobody relate to other like her. It was stunning, this experience. She was so sensitive to everything that moved around. This is the story about Shulamit. That elderly couple, Holocaust survivor, took her as a false, how to say, adopted daughter. Most welcome. I remember her how do you say, fostering mother. She was very advanced age, yes, and she was using a walking stick, a walking cane, and she was very merciful. We tend to feel sometimes orphans or disconnected because in certain periods or even moments we don't find any connection to anything because we are, let's say, bogged down only in the manifested. We think that what we see, what the senses are broadcasting to us is the absolute truth. Yes, Felipe, good morning.
Hi, Eti.
Hi, good morning. How do you do? Good to hear the birds. And you?
Hello. Yes, I'm fine, Eti. I'm glad to be here and hearing the story of Shulamit. It's beautiful because uh, sometimes we think about these parental relations and like family bonds that are, even though they are important and for our nourishing of body and education and so on. But we often tend to be too much attached to this kind of relations through life. I remember like a series I was seeing. There was this woman like 60 years old, and she wanted to make this trip to let the ashes of her mother into the water, to spare this ashes and you know make something beautiful of it. And it was really hard for her because she couldn't detach from this relation with her mother, like it was a very sick relation, not healthy relation. like it 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 sounded like it was like a abusive psychological relation, you know. And we often and the fact that caught my attention is that it doesn't matter the parents or whoever are even alive, you know, people are attached for the psychological reference. So it isn't real, you know, that there is no one to push you, there is no one to beat you, there is no one to say bad words to you, but you are yet you are attached with this kind of treatment and so on. So it's really interesting, and hearing these stories of the orphans. Uh, I'm not in the place to say that, but um, we could, in one perspective, we can see in the story of Shulamit that even though you do not have these physical parents, you know, this family that we are used to say that is so important. Um, I think that it might be often like an opportunity for you to develop this originality, you know, it is kind of to find yourself in the process of life, beside the parents' relay references and right and wrongs. And she was able to develop her own voice, her own manner to speech, manner
Yes,
of,
yes.
you know, and this is, you know, if she had maybe if she had this loving parents and healthy parents, she wouldn't be able to reach that grade, because it's suffocating, you know, to
Mm.
receive so much love.
Do you hear Felipe, Jill, Fernando, Abigail, or do you hear him speaking? Okay, let's try to be. Hope you can see that. Yes, Felipe?
Hello, can you hear me?
Now we can. Now we can.
Oh, sorry, I was disconnected, I guess. Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can hear you. We can hear you.
Uh, no, that's okay, Eti. Just to say that I don't know when the voice went out, but I think you got the main idea of finding your own voice besides the parental references, and many times it could be even not a blessing, let's say, but you know, many times the parents and the family is a suffocating environment for children and etc. So I just was thinking about this relating to the orphan concept.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Viti.
Fernando, any questions about the orphan that you are asking after reading Luria yesterday? Yes.
It just, as Felipe speaks, it seems that it exists an archetypal process, maybe it would be called, because first you need this inner structure somehow to live in the world. of the parents. It is not needed the blood relation, but you need somebody to carry you, right?
Yes.
But in a second moment, it is needed to be an orphan. So it is from these personal parents and being a son of the higher. So it is a paradox, right? Somehow, because it is not a paradox at all, but because like we are speaking that Joseph, when Luria is speaking that Joseph is orphan, is speaking that Yesod is not connected with Ima, with the
Mm-hmm.
supernal mother, and in other words, it is connected only with the personal family. But you need to be an orphan from the personal to be the son of God. And
True.
this opens another windows, two another windows that open it. One is that since you asked about Brazil,
Mm-hmm.
yesterday was the day that we have like a big Hagin, Brazilian Hagin, I would say. Many people go to the sea and put flowers, especially the fishermen. I once sent you a picture from this. The fisherman goes to the sea and put flowers to the sea because the sea brings the food,
Mm-hmm.
And in Brazil, the 2 of February is connected with this image that the Catholic Church, of course, takes place and puts as the our mother of the salesman, the holy mother of salesmen, the man that lives in the sea. But this is not in the Bible. Of course, it is a regional costume that people, thanks to this holy mother, thanks to this holy mother of the sea, that is resembling the sea. Of course, people take it literally. But if we look a little beyond it, we can see this Ima. Right? It is not a material thing. But of course, I'm not going with the tradition. I'm looking beyond what is happening. This occurred yesterday. And since I was listening from Felipe about this structure of the mother, the personal mother, that even after her death, people continue to live uh, her life. So just bringing these ideas to the table.
Thank you. Yes. 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 He has two kinds of love. Yes. Yes. At the sea and on the shore. Yes. Two kinds of loves. The two ways. Yes. The great sea. This is Mother Bina and the shore. Yes.
It
Yes, Felipe.
it's beautiful topic, and I was remembering also Joseph, and it's incredible how many layers we can grasp and realize. I never thought of Jacob as an orphan, but I mean there are many many things we could converse about it. and but in a way, he's it's very interesting. He has his Yesod as this foundation because he had to even he didn't know if his father was alive. So I think he felt like an orphan, and it's incredible how it helped, or it was uh, it was like it was. I mean, it was so important for him to become the provider,
Mm-hmm.
to be an orphan in the first place.
1 second, Felipe. Yes,
Could you hear me?
yes, yes. Because there's a
No,
background.
just
There's a background.
yes. There, the kids are
Yes,
playing around.
play.
Yes, and no, just said it was fundamental for him to be an orphan, to become the provider.
Yes, both orphans. Also, Moses. He grew up. He was brought up as a baby, seemingly without parents, and he grew up somewhere else. And they don't have parents, but they have the love of the higher. Like Weinreb says, if nobody likes you, the higher likes you. So, or cares for you. Because we turn to always look in the manifested correlations, and it's not, sometimes it's not happening. Sometimes in a close surrounding, there is no relation. Family, friends, school, neighborhoods. So we always tend to look under the lamp, yes, in a familiar surrounding, in a close surrounding. But sometimes people continue, and life is always richer than we think, or even that we are capable to grasp. And this is so beautiful. Any questions? Cindy, Abigail, Jill?
Eti,
Yes,
sorry, I do have a question, Eti, but
yes.
uh, sorry for the background noise. Sorry, it's horrible. But uh, I love those motos. But Eti, um, I was just reading about the Joseph cup. You know
Yes,
that it was put on Benjamin's bag,
yes,
and in Thomas Mann he speaks about like it was like Joseph saying that it was like divinatory. I don't know the word if the word is correct. It was like something that he looked and see and saw, you know, the happenings that would come, and I didn't hear it, never heard about that. And since you mentioned Thomas Mann has this midrashim background, I was curious about it. If there is something about this Joseph cup on what could you say about it?
thank you. It's mentioned in the Bible that Joseph had a cup. It's in the chapter itself. And he used to look at a grail, Gavia. It was Gavia. Gavia. It's a grail because it has a foot. It's not a cup, it was a grail. I don't know how it is mentioned in Portuguese, or I have to check in the book of Thomas Mann, but it is Gavia. The Bible say Gavia. It's a grail with a foot. And Gavia has the value of what? Look carefully, 85. 85 is the value of the world. Word. Yes, 85, grail, 85. Like the value of a word in Hebrew. Milah is also 85. Plus 1, which is the Unicity, this is 86, Elohim or the manifested. So Joseph had a relation to the manifested. This is why he could look, it's not physically, that it became a shining bowl, a crystal bowl, like a fortune teller that has some kind of fabric on her head with fingernails in green. It was not a fortune teller. This is not it. He could sense the manifested. Yes, the manifestation. This is why Orphan also holds it, the whole concept, Yefé Torah, Yefé Mareh. So he could look at the Grail. Why people have this fascination about the Holy Grail? In Christianity is a great thing. Why is that? We can see in Indiana Jones movies, the Holy Grail. Fascinating. Why? What is it about? Is it about really a grail from gold, from marble? Is it about this object, 10 centimeters, few inches? Is it about this? Is it about object? The whole concept. Fernando, have you heard about the Holy Grail in Indiana Jones in Christianity? Why there's so much fascination about it? Because we can go to any shop and buy a little grail there. Yes, with a foot. But what is the Holy Grail? Is the word. Yes, the word always comes from the hidden, from the source, to the manifested. And the grail is the vessel, because it has the same value. This is the Holy Grail. It's not about objects, because I believe that everyone in his domain, house, or in the next shop, they have little grails, some champagne. It's not about the physical object, it's about the concept. He had a relation to the manifested. He could sense, he could bring into the light, he could speak the hidden. Yes? Similarly, like Moses, they could speak the unspoken, to speak the secret. And it's written, it's not a lore. It's not a lore, it's written in the Bible. You can find the correct verse. Thank you so much for being here with us. We have a new friend here, AP. Good afternoon, good morning. Good to see you here. And we would like to wish you a very good week, very good season. Happy, hello. A happy February. Happy life. And hope to see you here soon. There are songs in the backgrounds. There's a new project by Jill, which is cooking up, I believe, already. Cindy, do you have something that you would like to share? Abigail, AP, you're most invited. Thank you so much. See you soon and shalom, shalom.